Hi guys, gals and non-body pals, welcome back to Budget with Ira. On this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel, Bestie, because we do have a lot of fun around here, Bestie. We really do. So in today's video, we're going to be doing the second episode of Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a new series where people are submitting to me their budget and they're asking for a bit of guidance. Something I do need to make very abundantly clear is this is not financial advice. I'm only showing what I would do if I was in that person's situation based off of the information that I know. And Bestie, today is a doozy, so let's get going. So all of the forms that are submitted are completely anonymous. I have no idea who this person is, but I kind of can relate to their situation because this week we have a student. I was a student once, back in the day. And I remember how tight money was, but I also remember what my money went on. So anyway, let's get into it. So this person's main goal is not to incur any more debt than what they have with their student loan. And that's the only debt that they are gonna have. They also want to save up for a home, which is something that they want to do within their lifetime as well, which I think is, you know, most of us can agree that that's pretty normal. Now, the thing with their income is that their income is very small and very sporadic. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on that as well, because it doesn't quite work like a normal person's income would do. Now, this person is a student and they're learning to be either a doctor or a nurse, something to do with the NHS, so they're getting bursaries and things like that. So I'm going to be doing a budget based off of what I know. So what I know about being a student is that things cost a lot of money and you don't have a lot of money. But with the fact that they're becoming a doctor or a nurse or a midwife or whatever it is, they might need to do placements, which mean that they go and do that work elsewhere, which they might need transport for. So it is relatively difficult to sort out a budget based off of that, but let's stick to the fact that, you know, we know what we know, Bestie, we know what we know. Apart from their student loan, they are completely debt-free, which makes it a bit easy for me. So this person says that they live in halls of residence, so their bills are all inclusive, don't share food, so all grocery bills are for feeding them. So literally there's rent and that includes absolutely everything. They have a car with them at uni, which I don't know is necessarily a thing that I would do, and that's probably the biggest change that I would make. But essentially they pay £800 a year in car insurance as a lump sum, which is sensible because that's the cheapest way to do that. And then they get loads of, like, they have to get an MOT on it, they have to get car insurance, car tax, all of that. So there's loads of associated bills with their car. The reason why they say they've got their car is I passed a car 2 years ago and got sick of walking 2 miles back from Aldi in the rain with heavy weekly shop. Someone hasn't heard of a bus. But yeah, all in all, this is a pretty sensible budget. So I think the best thing to do is to go have a look at this budget, see where we're at, see what the reality is before I hack away at this and do something that I think is the most appropriate. So let's get going, Bestie. Okay, so before we start looking into this budget, I think the really important thing to do is just look at how different their income is. So let me just explain their income first. So this person says, I get student loan on the 3rd week of September, 1st week of January and the 4th week of May. So that's 3 installments of their student loan and that's their income, right? So their income is 3 sets of loans. So 1450, 1450 and 1500. Then they go on to say, I also qualify for the NHS student nurse bursary, which is the 3rd week of November, 3rd week of March and the 4th week of July. So it shows me that they're getting like money pretty much every 2 months, and that is 1650, 1650 and 1700. So what that works out to is 9,400 for the year, which is not a great deal of money. Let's be frank about that. So they say that this is their entire income and must last them from the 2nd week in September all the way through until the following September. So it's like, it's a full year course, but there will be downtime within that, yeah? So I'm going to talk about what to do in that downtime, but yeah, that's basically it for the whole year, which is not a lot of money, is it, besties? Then they talk about their rent. rent. So their rent is paid termly rather than monthly. So their rent is $1,870 3 times a year. So the rent actually comes up to $5,610. Yeah, so that just needs to come straight off of their income straight away. It just needs to come straight off because they have to have that. So what they're actually left with for the year in terms of their income is $3,790, which is even less, Bessie. So if we think we've got tight budgets, this is a tight budget. So when we divide that by 12, that leaves it at $315.80 per month. So that is basically what we're working with, because we have to pay for rent. Like, you might as well just take that out of the budget immediately, because it's going to happen. So what we're actually left to work with is $315.80. So there is that. So we're now here with the handy dandy paycheck bill tracker. This is something that's available on my Etsy store. It's an absolute stunner, and it's basically a paycheck bill tracker scrap pad, and it's good for scrap because you can just rip it off when you're done with it. So we will be doing that, but let's start and show you what the reality of their budget looks like right now. So first of all, we'll start with the monthly income, which is $315.80, which we worked out. So they've got a couple bills, so let's sort them out first. So obviously first there's a car warranty. So they have a car at uni, which is $28.29 per month. Then there's the gym membership, which is $24.99. And then we have they are an RCN membership, which is something to do with nursing. I had to look it up. So that's their membership, and that is only 84p per month. And then they have Apple storage. You can't begrudge someone for that. That's 79p a month. And then they have Amazon Prime, which I'm assuming is really, really important. Like, as a student, you need to get like your work done, to have something on in the background. And then they have Monzo Plus, which is a $5. And then they have a Money Box subscription for their Lysa, because they're being smart, and that's £1. So that comes up to $65.40, which isn't like a great deal when it comes to bills, yeah? Because obviously they don't have to pay council tax and a couple bits like that because they are a student. So then they've got some envelopes. So the first one they have is groceries and household. So that's built into one. And that is £60 a month, it looks like they do. Then they have fuel and parking, which is £60. So I think a tenner of that is parking, I believe. Yeah, it's £200 a year, so it's a bit more than that. So they're not actually doing a lot of driving, if I'm honest. And then they, obviously, because they're in accommodation, they have laundrette, which is £10 a month. And then they give themselves £20 a month spending money. So that comes up to £20. What I haven't done is told you that from their $315.80, once their bills have come out, they are left with $250.40, and then their envelopes come up to £150, and when they're done with that, they are left with £100.40. So they've got a couple of sinking funds that they've mentioned. So first of all, they've got car insurance, which they pay yearly, but they say they save up to. So it's £800 per year, and they say they save it up throughout a year. So the 800 divided by 12 is 67. So we know that one is true, right? Then they said that they've got a car maintenance, and I don't know how much they're doing with that. They say they've got a Christmas one, a clothing one, and they'd like to save up for skincare. They just buy it when they can. Makeup. They say they're saving up for curtains, so like a home one. And they say that their MOT is £240 a year, which is £20 a month. So we know for a fact that they have these, but we don't know how much they attribute that to them each month. But basically these two by themselves come up to £87, which only leaves them with £13.40. So here's where we are, right? So if I was this person, and I have been this person, I have been at uni, I did a completely different course, and obviously this is based off of my experience. So like I'm gonna make a massive generalization right here, right now, that they do not need this car, honestly, because look at all of these bills. So we've got a car warranty, we've got fuel and parking, we've got parking like as it is, we've got car insurance there, we've got MOT. Their car costs them $1,519.48 per year. Yeah, which isn't a lot in terms of a car, but it's a lot when you consider that what they actually have is 3,790. It's a third of their yearly income. Now they say the reason why they have a car is because they were bored of or sick of walking home with all of their groceries for a couple of miles in the rain. I mean, Uber, bus, it's just so much cheaper. Now there is a reality that they are a nurse or they're a student nurse, so they might need to do placements and might need a car, but not everybody has a car. So if this person doesn't have a car, they might have to figure something out, but this would be the first thing that I remove. Yeah, the gym is really, really good for mental health. This membership thing probably has benefits with it, so I would keep that. I would keep the Apple thing. I would keep the money box thing as well. I would get rid of Monzo Plus. I don't see the point in it. It costs $5 and all it means is that you can spend out of a certain sinking pot, but at the moment we can't put anything in them because we're spending everything on the bloody car, right? I would get rid of Prime. No, I just wouldn't do that. I would just not do that. But it is a bargain at $4.49 compared to, like, that's the student price. So I mean, it's a $5. Like, does it really matter? So once we've sort of got rid of these here, we're left with a lot more capital. We can do a lot more here in this sinking fund area here. I think there's areas here where we're missing out on a lot of fun. And I know that they're a student nurse. There's, it's a really, really stressful thing. They're looking after people and stuff like that. And I don't see much reward here. I don't see them letting their hair down. I don't see any of that. And what's the point of being a student if you can't do that? So let's scratch this off and let's start again with a new wonderful budget by me. Budget with Ira. Okay, so we're back here with a new paycheck bill tracker, and this is what I would do. So let's call this the new budget, right? And let's go back with the income of $315.80. Yeah, so I've already cut out car. I would say that don't have the car. It's just such a big drain on your money. Now you might need it and your budget might be perfect for you, but this is what I would do. Yeah, gym I would keep because it's important. Your RCN, it's so nominal and you must get benefits from it. The Apple is probably necessary because you are a young thing, and money box is sensible, but I will get rid of the Prime and the Monzo Plus because what's the point? Okay, so the gym is $24.99. I would see if you can negotiate a smaller price for that because you won't be there as much because you are like at hospital a lot. So all of your bills would actually come to $27.62 in the new world, which would leave you with $288.18. Okay, let's move over to envelopes. So you used to have groceries and household. I would split those, but keep the money the same. So I would just have a groceries envelope. It's only harder. You need to take care of yourself, good food, stuff like that. You're a young thing, so your bounce back ability is really, really high, but I would still make sure that you take care of yourself and get good nutritious stuff. So I'd keep the budget at £60 a month. That's still not a lot for a single person. Laundrette is really important because you can't be stinky. So I would keep that one in, and that's a tenner. I would keep your spending at £20, because if you're used to it, keep it at £20, because in reality, all you're really going to be buying is snacks and things to supplement groceries, like things, you know, like fun stuff like that. You're not really going to be buying much more than that, are you? So I think £5 a week is just something, you can get yourself something nice with it. But I would introduce this category if I were you. I mean, you might not be this type of person, but I would definitely introduce a nights out category. And I would make it the biggest category that you have. I'd give yourself £80 a month. That's 1 to 2 to 3 really good nights out a month. You're making friends for life right now, and you are the youngest you're ever going to be, and you don't want to let this whole thing go. So when you can, enjoy yourself. And I really think that this, while you're thinking about your future and you're thinking about being sensible, this sort of money here is not wasting your money. You're going to have the time of your life, and I would definitely, while you can, because trust me, you will regret it when you're older, just have fun. Yeah, so give yourself 80 quid a month for just going out and having fun. And then I would introduce this one, which would be travel. This would be your buses, your Ubers, your stuff like that, because you don't have a car. So, you know, you don't need to walk home with all of your groceries, or you could use that digitally and use it as a delivery fee for someone to come and deliver your groceries for you, right? So I would just be a bit more savvy about that. Like, you don't need to go to Lidl and walk home in the rain. You could just spend a little bit extra, get it delivered to you, or get a cab back or whatever. Just don't struggle. You don't need to. Okay, so what that comes up to is £190, which is significantly more than what you were doing, and it leaves you with £98.18. Now the rest of it, I would be putting it into sinking funds, right? So you've got a home stroke household sinking fund. So you're talking about getting curtains and stuff like that. Give yourself £20 a month. Why not? You'll need things like bleach and stuff like that. And what you're left with, you can just save and buy nice things for where you're living. Christmas, it doesn't look like you necessarily had a plan for it, because it doesn't look like you had much left over. If you do £10 a month, you'll have £10 a month, you'll have £120 at the end of the year. You are young, you're going out, you're meeting people, you're having fun. Just buy clothes. Give yourself £20 a month, right? Skincare as well, do the same. It makes you happy, you're young, look after yourself. £20. Makeup, the same again. £20. And then just to be a little bit sensible, I'd add supplies on there, which is a £5. So supplies for like pens and things like that. That comes up to £95, which leaves you with £3.18. Okay, you don't have any debt. Well, you do, you have your student loan, but that's not to worry about yet. And then we're talking about your emergency fund. It seems to be quite well stocked, and your LISA, because you have that money box subscription. Yeah, so what I would do is I'm going to put a summer job, and I know you don't have opportunity for a summer job, but you will get downtime. You won't be constantly at uni. What I would do is I would definitely work on those beans with that. Or what you could do is make sure that you get a job on your downtime, so that you can earn the 1,519.48 that you need to run your car. If you're able to earn that in a year, then you can afford your car based off of this budget. So that is what I would do, Bestie. So that is my budget for a student nurse based off of the information that I know. I mean, what do I know, Bestie? I just think that there's a lot of young people going around wasting money, and this sounds like a really sensible, well-rounded person. I just want to make sure that you are having the best time of your life, and that you're really enjoying your time at uni while you are young, and you're capable of drinking all night and then bouncing back and not feeling it the next day. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy your time at uni, and don't feel like these next couple of years while you're working really, really hard that you can't play hard, because you absolutely should, Bestie. Hi guys, and I'm Byron. Thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. Now, something I will say about this budget is the fact that I've just completely removed the car, which has freed up so much money because I think it's the most sensible thing to do. I think, you know, spending that little money on travel is really, really smart. However, when you are at uni by yourself, sometimes you do feel really isolated. So having that car might be a really, really important mental health thing and also safety thing as well. So it might not necessarily be the right thing for that person to get rid of that car, but if I was in their shoes, I would certainly be finding a different way to make that money. So maybe by doing something online or just something extra. And I know it's hard to do that when you've got such a demanding course, but if the car is that important to you, honestly, Bestie, I don't think they can afford it based off of their current student loan situation. But anyway, that's just what I think. So this is not financial advice. So, you know, they can do whatever they want, Bestie. We are at the end of today's video. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you would like me to take a look at your budget, make sure you click on the link in the description because it will take you over to a form builder. Please give me as much information as possible. And if it's an interesting one, we could be doing it next week, Bestie. So go ahead and take a look at that and I'll see what I can do. Thank you so much to the individual who submitted their budget. It is really, really interesting to put myself back in that situation and just see what I would do in that situation because, Bestie, I worked full-time and did a full-time course because I was able to, and I wasted every single penny on going out. And do I regret it? Absolutely not. Thank you so much to all the channel members and the patrons who support me over on this channel. Your support means truly the world to me, and just thank you so much, Bestie. We are at the end, so until I see you on the next one, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And Bestie, I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.